Welcome friends, welcome to Physics in 20 minutes. In this video we are going to look at some of the review questions on work, power and energy. You need to see video number 34 to understand the concepts here. The sign of many physical quantities depends on the choice of coordinates. For example, AY, the vertical acceleration for free fall motion can be negative or positive depending on whether we choose upward or downward as positive. Is the same thing true of work? In other words, can we make positive work negative by different choice of coordinates? Explain. So the answer to this question is no. In the last lecture we have seen that sign of work depends on the angle, relative angle between the force and displacement, and that relative angle will not change whichever way you choose your coordinate system, and therefore you cannot make positive work negative by choosing the coordinates differently. So that's right, it is not true. Work is positive if force and displacement are in the same direction and negative if they are in opposite direction. If you flip the axis, it does not change the relative directions of force and displacement. Let's go ahead. A rope tied to a body is pulled, causing the body to accelerate. But according to Newton's third law, the body pulls back on the rope with an equal and opposite force. Is the total work done then zero? If so, how can the body's kinetic energy change? Explain. Yeah, by Newton's third law, we know that the two forces act on two different bodies. So here, whichever body is being pulled, on that body there is only one force, and that is by the tension in the rope. And therefore, since there is only one force, the net force is not zero, and therefore it is accelerating, so its velocity is increasing, and obviously work is not zero. Work is being done and kinetic energy will go on increasing in this case. So yes, total work is non-zero and total work done is equal to gain in the kinetic energy. If there is a net non-zero force on a moving object, is it possible for the total work done on the object to be zero? Explain with an example that illustrates your answer. If you apply the force, if the force is zero, if the force is non-zero, but the displacement is zero, then the total work done will be zero. So this is one example. Circular motion is worse, another beautiful example where the force is there and displacement is there. Even in case of if you are holding something and walking, the tension in the hand is working upward while displacement of the object would be, say, horizontal. And in both cases the angle theta between the displacement and force is 90 degree, cos 90 is 0, so work done will be 0. So answer is yes, it is possible when force is perpendicular to the displacement. Example is a circular motion. So going ahead, for the cases shown in the figure, the object is released from rest at the top and feels no friction or air resistance, in which, if any cases, the mass have the greatest speed at the bottom and the most work done on it by the time it reaches the bottom. So in the first case I have mass m which is dropped vertically at a height h. In the second case the mass m is sliding on an incline where the highest point is again at the height h. Third case, my incline is the same but my mass has been doubled, again sliding down from the same height to the ground. So let's try to answer the first question. Which object will have the greatest speed at the bottom?
That's right. All of them will have the same velocity, but the third one will have the most work done.
Yes, in all three cases the velocity would be same at the bottom. When the block is falling down, the work is being done by gravity. So the work done in this case, first case is mg is the force, displacement is h, both are in the downward direction. So work done is mgh. Here the work done is mgh. Here the work done will be 2 mgh by the time it reaches the bottom. The velocity of falling bodies does not depend on their mass. So at the end the velocity will be root 2 gh. So they will all have the same speed at the bottom, and work done is maximum in the last case. Can the total work done on an object during a displacement be negative? Explain. If the total work is negative, can its magnitude be larger than the initial kinetic energy of the object? Again, explain. So can anyone try to attempt this?
Yes, it can be negative when the body object moves in the opposite direction of the force applied.
Yes, that is right. So force and displacement are in opposite direction. Now, can its magnitude be larger than the initial kinetic energy of the object?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because if it is more, then the direction will change, and since the direction has changed, the work done will become positive.
Yeah, I think if you combine both the answers, then it will be the complete answer. So here my block is moving with the velocity v towards right. Since the block is moving towards right, it can be a car, just the example I gave. Its displacement is to the right, so displacement is s, but the friction between the surface and the body is working up backward direction. So the force and displacement will be in two opposite directions. Therefore the work done by this force is negative. Remember that. Another example is if a positive charge is moving opposite to electric field. So you all know that if there is an electric field, then the force due to electric field on a positive charge works towards the right side, but charge itself is moving towards the left. So the force and displacement for the charge will be in opposite direction, and the work done will be negative. In this case, the charge will slow down and stop eventually. So these are called stopping forces. Applying brakes or applying electric field to stop the speed of moving charged particles. So these are all example of negative work done. Suppose if this object slows down, then eventually the final speed of the block will be 0. So at that time the work done by the friction has to be equal to the total loss in kinetic energy. So once it has stopped, no work will be done. In this case, what will happen? So in this case, the charged particle will stop. So it will lose all its kinetic energy because work is being done by the electric field to stop it. The charge will stop eventually, lose all its kinetic energy because of the work being done by the electric field. And then since the force is working to the right, the charge will start accelerating towards right. But in that case, the work done will be positive. Somebody has explained it correctly. The direction of motion or displacement will flip, and therefore the work done will become from negative to positive. This question is asking only about the negative work done, and therefore yes, if the total work is negative, then its magnitude can never be larger than the initial kinetic energy of the object. So the next question, when a book slides on a tabletop, the force of friction does negative work on it, as we have seen just in one example. Can friction ever do positive work? So an object moving on the top of another object, just to give you an example, there is my block system. A simple example, suppose you keep your mobile phone on a book. So this becomes your mobile phone, upper block, lower block is your book, and you pull the book. So when you pull the book slowly, then you will find that the upper block also moves along with the book. So what makes the upper block to move? So upper block moves because of the friction between the upper block and the lower block. Now if you look at it, displacement is in the forward direction and the force of friction due to lower block on the upper block is also in the forward direction. The force and displacement both in the forward direction, positive or right side direction in this case, and therefore the work done by the friction on the upper block will be positive. So let's go to the next. A car speeds up while the engine delivers constant power. Is the acceleration greater in the beginning, at the beginning of this process, or at the end? Explain. Power is work done per unit time, but work done is F delta S, force into displacement, and delta S by delta T is distance or displacement upon time. So that will give you velocity. So it will become F into V, but it says the power is constant. So F into V has to be constant, but car is speeding up, so velocity increases. That means if the product of two numbers is a constant and if one of the number is increasing, the other number must decrease. So F can be written as mass into acceleration. Mass is another constant. So we can write acceleration into velocity is constant. As velocity increases, acceleration decreases. So initially you have to apply a larger acceleration. Later on your applied acceleration decreases. Let's take the next question. A non-zero net force acts on an object. Is it possible for any of the following quantities to be constant? The particle's speed, the particle's velocity, the particle's kinetic energy. Net force is non-zero. There has to be acceleration. So if there is an acceleration, the velocity must change. It can either change only in direction, or it can change only in magnitude, that is its speed, or it can change in both. So let's look at the option A, the particle's speed. If only direction of the velocity changes, then the particle's speed may remain constant. The example of this kind of motion is a uniform circular motion, where the centripetal force only changes the direction of the velocity, not the magnitude. So speed remains constant. Then B part, the velocity cannot remain constant, because when you say velocity, then it refers to both magnitude as well as direction. Since there is an acceleration, one of the two has to change, and therefore the velocity will change. So the answer to B part is no. Can the kinetic energy remains constant? Answer is yes. Kinetic energy deals with the speed of the object. Since the speed of an object can remain constant even if the net force is non-zero, the kinetic energy can remain constant. Again, the example is uniform circular motion, where the kinetic energy remains constant despite of centripetal force working on the object. So answer to C part is yes. If work W is required to stretch a spring a distance x from its unstretched length, what work is required in terms of W to stretch the spring an additional distance x? So think about this. So the work done to stretch it from the origin to a displacement x is half kx square. If I have an additional distance x, then the total stretching is 2x, and the total work is 2x the whole square, which will become 4x square. It will be 4kx square by 2. Therefore, work done in stretching from x to 2x is work done for 2x minus work done for x, and that will give me 3kx square by 2. we can stop here. Thank you.